So these are the parts we need for our modification for our new saddle fixture. So you order a kit. Normally it comes with two push rods because a door will be handled with two. We just need one, so we put that away. So that leaves us with the push rod itself. Make sure it's not stronger than 100 Newton meters. So even those coming from China will have some marking on it, and if it's stronger, you will have some trouble to push your saddle down. Most important is, and make sure that your kit has those, is it comes with 3 mounting pods. We need the one which is meant for a vertical mounting, and we also need the one which is more or less omnidirectional. Then there is a one to be mounted sideways, and this one we don't need, so I put that away. Additionally, I got some screws with it, but I'm sure you have some lying around. Just make sure that you get some which are drilling their way through the plastic by themselves and not one meant for metal or so. So those are the parts we need. Additionally, a screwdriver will be handy, and then we are fine and ready to go. Let's mount the stuff. Okay, mounting is pretty simple. First you take your push rod. Make sure you added the vertical mount on the slimmer part and the omnidirectional part on the thicker part. You will see why right now, because we will mount one end here which will work in this direction and the other one to the saddle, and because this one is thinner, it perfectly fits up here. So it depends on you and how you work. If you take the full thing to measure and mark the spots where you want to mount it, or if you just take the parts themselves and figure out where they fit best. So to my knowledge, I would suggest putting it right in the middle between those holes which are already in the saddle. This is perfectly fitting to the push rod. Also, the saddle and the plastic is not very thick here. So what I did is I did replace the screws which came with this kit, and they are about like 25 millimeters, and because they have a very sharp tip, they probably will pinch your ass when you're sitting on the scooter. So I replaced that by 15 millimeters, and additionally you could think of first mounting the whole thing and then getting the screws out again and cut the tips. So that's something which I'm trying to figure out later. Also make sure when you mount this vertical mounting point that you mount it in the middle where you see this thing here. That makes sure that you're not putting the screw through the thin part but right into the body of the seat. So I marked those 3 power spots and the 2 down there, and now I will screw it into the plastic. the final step. All you need to do is mount your push rod. Mine to take the smaller part down here, click, bigger part up here, snapped into, close the saddle, and do the magic. Pretty cool for a $5 fix, isn't it? So here's a final tip. If you really plan to transport a second battery, which nicely fits into this compartment, this will collide with the push rod. See? So if you ever need to transport something big or your battery, it's pretty simple to remove the push rod. All you need is a flat screwdriver, push it in here and remove this metal clip. Do it in both sides and you can remove the push rod, and then the battery fits and you can close the saddle.